Well, prisons have long had a policy of banning books and other reading material that authorities deem are inappropriate or even dangerous. Some have banned popular books like The Shawshank Redemption, which is about a prison break. It makes sense. Well, now America's most secure prison, you've heard of it, Supermax, where domestic terrorists like the Unabomber and dangerous international terrorists call home, they're banning two books that authorities believe are, and I'm quoting, potentially detrimental to national security. They're Barack Obama's books, Dreams for My Father and The Audacity of Hope. Wait a minute. What? The president's books not allowed at Supermax? Why? Here to explain, Bill Daley, former FBI investigator, senior VP, and practice leader of Control Risks Security Consulting. Good to see you, Bill.
Good to see you, Jamie.
The control, the risks, and the security certainly came into play, and the FBI was actually involved in this. They won't release what portions of the book, although they say the pages but not the excerpts, that they believe of the president's books would be dangerous in the hands of prisoners at Supermax. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, the FBI will at times consult with the Bureau of Prisons, which is all under the Justice Department, in determining what material may be influential to certain prisoners that might incite them. Now, as you pointed out, books like The Shawshank Redemption or books on tunneling certainly make sense not to have in prisons, as are some books even on magic, which may give people ideas of escapes, or even books or access to maps so people would even know where they are, because sometimes these prisoners don't even know where they are. What gets a little bit sketchy, a little bit kind of difficult to gauge, are some of the books that may prove to be, inciting people, maybe inciting Islamic fundamentalism or some radical forms which could pose danger to perhaps the prison guards or could invoke other prisoners to also act in concert with each other. So we're not talking about President Obama's books having some national security code in there that's giving about secrets of nuclear weapons, but in fact it could be something that they feel would invoke some more of a response and perhaps encourage some acting out by prisoners while they're being held.
Let me give our audience a little background. Actually, somebody that is at Supermax. Ahmed Omar Ali was serving, and still is, a 30-year sentence at Supermax in Colorado. And he went to court with his attorney. He requested both of these books written by President Obama, and he was rejected. And he went on a hunger strike over it even. What do you think these two books and others, how does that turn into a potential threat with someone that is probably going to be at Supermax, which is the highest security prison that we have? How does that translate into a potential threat outside of prison?
Well, outside of prison, that would be difficult to make that case. I mean, we're not expecting he's going to be getting out on parole anytime soon. I think here probably the suggestion is, and it may be a little bit convoluted between how it came across and what really the intent is that it probably poses a threat more so inside the prison to prison guards and other prisoners who may be encouraged in some way by either the tone or comments or some take on those chapters. And I haven't seen what those chapters are because they haven't told us.
Right. They won't tell us a specific passage. So let me just ask you before I let you go, how well do prison libraries generally control extremist literature? Not that the president's is extremist, but other material that might reach even non-Supermax prisoners that could plan terrorist threats.
Yeah, interesting, Jamie, is that probably not up until recently had they really looked at those things that would be more of this type of inciting behavior, as opposed to the other books we talked about with trickery and tunneling and maps and things, which make sense. It's only been recently they actually have come down with a project to actually go through some standardization of what is in these libraries and try to call out those things that could be encouraging to people both inside as well as maybe when they come out, if they're harboring on this information while they're being held in these very, very close conditions and very, very monastic type of life where they're living there in without contact with people, and maybe encouraging to just dwell on this information.
Bill Daley, this is a very interesting story. Thanks for talking to us about it today.
Good to be here.